Hello there! What's going on, everybody? We finally got a Superstar Destroyer article, and there's good news and bad news, and the bad news is there's really nothing new here. But the good news is it's a Superstar Destroyer article, and we are going to talk about it, what we can infer from this article, and what they have shown us in this article. Before I dive too far in, there is another round of the giveaway going right now. You can win a $25 Amazon gift card for an expansion of your choice, or perhaps a down payment on a Superstar Destroyer of your own. That's going on for just about another week or so, and there's time to enter that. All you have to be is a subscriber and leave a comment, and you're automatically entered to win. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this giant thing measuring from over 2 feet from tip to tip, roughly the size of a salmon. Yeah, I don't understand why they say that, but all right. So we did get some high-res images of these cards, but they're actually poorly kind of constructed. So all of these images are already up on Crabbok.com. I have a Superstar Destroyer article on there that has all of the cards from the flyer that was in Game Trader magazine over like back in December. But one of the things you're going to notice on a lot of these cards is that the fleet command image down there for the upgrade icons are kind of like blurred out almost. It's just maybe not the best image of these cards. It's almost like they tried to make them really high res and then brought them back to low res and then tried to pull them back up to high res again. Everything else on the card looks great. Like for example, the Executor 1 is got like 4 blanks on it. That's not exactly right. So, you know, we're kind of working with what we can work with here. But those 4 blanks are fleet command. And so all of the blanks that you'll see on any of these pictures in the article or on the video here are supposed to be fleet command. They may update this article and fix these images, but this is just what we have for right now. But yeah, 33 points for the big ones for your epic games. That's a lot of dice. I have already talked about these. But ultimately, it's insanity, right? So you've got your command prototype. This is the one that we've seen for the longest time. The Star Dreadnought Assault prototype, which will be really fun in your 400-point games because you've got a red die there for your squadron. Really good. This one's almost certainly going to be like a single ship build, or maybe like a support ship. You're not going to run this and an ISD, you know. Whereas here with the Star Dreadnought, maybe you could get away with trying to run an ISD with this. But you have significantly less points on the Assault prototype. But I really do like the Assault prototype, especially for its anti-squadron capabilities with that red die. So many more things you can do here now, especially with all those officers you have. There's a lot of capabilities to really wreck squadrons with this one. Then we get into like the Epic Games versions, 33 hull points. I don't really see myself using the Executor 1 very much. Now you have 3 dice for anti-squadron. A lot of anti-ship dice. I think the Executor 2 is better. You still have a fleet command, but you've got double ion cannon, double turbo laser, double offense. You still have weapons team, 4 officers, 33 hull, red, blue, and black for anti-squadron. This is the way this ship I think is meant to be played. I like it. 411 points too. Funny thing is, for the Executor 1, it's 381, so it's just there where you cannot get it. This is almost like soft confirmation that we will never get a commander that's less than 20 points. I mean, maybe they will someday. Who knows? Like, that would be just for giggles, I guess. Because that would be nuts. Imagine bringing this thing into a tournament. All right, and we just get some high-res versions of certain other cards. Piet, we've already talked about Piet. He's going to be great for giving a Superstar Destroyer effectively 2 command dials and 2 tokens. Because you're going to be able to exhaust him to get... to give yourself another dial of that token. The only problem is you kind of have to set it up a little bit with Piet. He's also going to work on interdictor builds if you have an interdictor and a Superstar Destroyer, because the interdictor title will allow you to unexhaust Piet, and then you can go ahead and use him for the interdictor as well. But he definitely is working primarily with the Superstar Destroyer. He's not really going to be somebody I don't see you really wanting to take him if you're not using at least a huge ship. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Superstar Destroyer. If they come out with other huge ships, then like if they ever actually do a Bellator, then you can use it on that potentially. He'll be good for any huge ships, but right now the only one is the Superstar Destroyer. Maybe they'll announce another one here pretty soon. That would be pretty cool. Emperor Palpatine. We've already seen him. We've already talked about him. He was in the initial announcement article. He's going to be awesome everywhere. I think he'll actually be better in like a MSU type of list. He'll be better, I think, with a lot of Architans is where I really want to run him. In place of having a whole bunch of Intel officers, I think he'll be great for that. But they have the Emperor Palpatine crew, which is going to be nice. Again, we've already talked about all of these cards. We get the high-res version of it. Enemy ships declare, or unique squadrons declare, use the target of an attack. They have to spend a defense token. Okay, but they get to choose which one. You don't, but still it's causing people to spend stuff. You can combo this with maybe Avenger. So he doesn't have to be on a huge ship. He can be on any ship. I think he'd be really great on Avenger. Or, use him with a Gazanti that also exhausts. You can have like double exhausting of defense tokens. Pretty cool stuff that way. So similar to the way Palpatine works normally. Darth Vader, one of the best things ever as a crew, strangling other officers. Love him. Absolutely love him. He's going to let you reroll dice. It's great that you don't have to run Vader as your commander now for rerolls. This is going to influence a lot of my builds going forward. I love red dice. I love red dice with the ability to do rerolls. He's definitely going to work, and he doesn't have to be on the ship that's rerolling. He has to just be within distance 1 through 5. He's great on a Super Star Destroyer. He's great where there's lots of disposable officers, and we have a lot of disposable officers. They also gave us some of those Super Star Destroyer titles. So we got the Annihilator. While attacking a squadron, you may reroll an attack die. Broken, absolutely bonkers. Love this title. Love it. Eclipse, this one makes me sad because the artwork does not feature the bearded Legends EU black alternate sculpted Super Star Destroyer that we kind of know and love from the EU. It's just an Executor class ship like it was in the books, but you were kind of hoping it had been modified. I was hoping they were going to do an Eclipse expansion, but they're not going to do an Eclipse expansion if they have the Eclipses right here. So we're probably not going to see an official Eclipse from FFG, unless, of course, the Eclipse ends up being in Episode 9, and then they call it like an Eclipse refit or something, an Eclipse 2, or unless we come up with some kind of alternate way to market the Eclipse, because in the new canon, the Eclipse was just an Executor class Super Star Destroyer, just like the Executor, and it just happened to be going off to the outer reach. It had its own mission, and it's going to be important in the First Order. I expect the First Order will probably get, if they ever do, sequel trilogy factions, the First Order will get the Eclipse, and it'll be like an Eclipse refit or something like that. But this one is if somebody overlaps you, they suffer a face-up damage instead of a face-down damage. Okay. It's good. It'll stop all the, a lot of that ramming stuff. Or it'll hurt people who want to ram you. It's not that great. I don't know. This one's just so much better, right? We have more titles than that. They just didn't show all of them. I also want to showcase this graphic because that's an MC-80. That's a large base ship. Just being completely dwarfed. Like, this is the Super Star Destroyer is so much bigger than a large base ship. It's the same ratio as an ISD is to like a Hammerhead, right? Like that's how much bigger it is. It's insanity, and it's so big I can't even fathom it on the table. Can't even fathom it. Like I have to. And the thing is, I've seen it at Gen Con, right? I've seen it there. I've seen it with other ships, but it was like up here. Like I haven't had it in front of me. I haven't held it in my hands, and I want to embrace this thing. I really do. So what can we infer from this article? And this is where it really gets interesting. They usually don't put articles out like this until something's getting closer to delivery. Now, they already posted that this will not be available in time for Adepticon, but there still is no official timeline on it. All the retailers are just saying it got pushed to Q2, but because it was a Q1 that got pushed back to Q2, that doesn't mean that it's going to be late Q2 like everything else. What it's likely to mean, in my guess, I'm going to guess here, is that we may see it in April. We may see it in April. And I definitely hope for April because, first off, that's early in Q2. That would also mean that, like, if they couldn't get it in time for Adepticon, but it's coming just afterwards. Here's what an April release would mean. It would mean that there's a pretty good chance that we will see this at Star Wars Celebration. And if so, maybe, just maybe, I'll have one to demo, and then I can bring you guys live coverage of it from Star Wars Celebration, so we can get like an early look there. I realize that Star Wars Celebration is about a whole lot more stuff than just the Super Star Destroyer, but I am keeping my fingers crossed to actually be able to get up close and personal with this thing in April. But we'll have to see. They haven't said anything yet. I think a lot of this is still kind of up in the air, so they don't want to make any promises yet. I think if they knew for sure it was going to be at Star Wars Celebration, they would have said so by now. I think it's But if they knew for sure it was going to be after that, they might have put like expected in May of 2018. They want to give. I'm sure they want to give us some kind of timeline, but I think there's too much up to chance right now. It's still listed as in development right now. I think the fact that there's an article means it's definitely not in that conceptual phase anymore. It's definitely probably on the boat, if not already, probably not shipping yet. But I would bet you it's still on the boat, which means maybe they'll start getting some early copies soon. Maybe some review copies will even potentially be able to go out by early April. And if they're at that stage, they might have one that they can bring to Celebration. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Not a whole lot of new stuff here, but some higher res images. Hopefully they fix those icons for Fleet Command and for all the rest of the upgrades, because the upgrade icons don't look good on those images. And that's it. All right, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. You can check out Crabbok.com. You can hop on my Discord. You can talk about it there. You can talk about it on the Fantasy Flight forums. And can you tell I'm pretty excited that we're actually getting an article. Armada is so hot right now. It's crazy. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And thanks to my patrons on Patreon. You guys are amazing. I want to thank you all so much for your continued support. You guys help make this all happen. And thank you guys all so much for watching. And as always, have a great day.